Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Putri Sotonasana, and in this video I want to talk about something that many people might have experienced before. So imagine you are going to the beach, and you want to text your friends about it, but you don't know how to write it down. Is it I am at the beach, I am on the beach, or I am in the beach? It is sometimes confusing, so that's why I want to explain when to use in, on, and at correctly, so that it wouldn't be confusing again when you have to use it the next time. I'll start by describing the definition of preposition. Then we'll move on to the next point, which is to explain when to use the preposition in, on, and at correctly, along with some examples. So the first topic is, what is preposition? Preposition is a word or a group of words that is used before a noun, a pronoun, and a noun phrase to show direction, time, place, location, special relationship, or to introduce an object. Some examples of prepositions are words like in, on, at, to, and for. But in this presentation, I will only talk about 3 of them, which are the prepositions in, on, and at. Now let's look at the 3 prepositions. The first preposition is preposition in. The preposition in can be used for something large or general. So as a preposition of time, preposition in can be used for first, general periods of time. For example, in the future, in the present, in the past, I used to cry a lot. It can also be used for individual years, group of years, decades, and centuries. For example, in the 1998, in the 80s, in the 19th centuries. I was born in the 1998. Then it can also be used for seasons. In summer, in the winter. In autumn, I like to watch the changings of the leaves. Then we can also use it for months and weeks. In June, in the first few weeks of the month, I will be 20 in a few weeks. And lastly, we use in for parts of days. In the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, I like to sleep. As a preposition of place, we can use in for first is for countries. So for example, I am in England. In Japan, many people are very polite. Then we can also use it for cities. I was born in Jakarta, my father was in Manila, and there are many historical sites in Yogyakarta. Then next is for neighborhoods. For example, I live in the Cotswolds. Cotswolds is a beautiful large area of England. Then the next one is we use it for enclosed spaces. For example, we were in a taxi. You were in the house. But there are some exceptions, which are for trains and buses. We don't use in for trains and buses. Why? We will talk about it later on. Lastly, we use it for books or newspaper. For example, you can find it in the dictionary. I read it in a book, and it was in the newspaper. Next is the preposition on. Preposition on is used for something quite general. The first one as a preposition of time. On can be used for dates. For example, on the 10th of June I was born. On his birthday, we went out for a meal. Then we also use it for holidays with day in it. For example, on Christmas Day, on New Year's Day, and on the bank holiday. Next one is we use it for days of the week. For example, on Monday, on Tuesday, on the first day of the week. Then we use it also for days of months. For example, on the 4th of July, on the 3rd of April, and on the last day of the month. And we also use it for something miscellaneous, like on time. As preposition of place, we use on for streets, avenues, or roads. For example, on Elm Street, on the King's Road, etc. Then we also use it for surfaces. For example, on the ceiling, on the table. And we also use it for floors or in a building. For example, on the fifth floor of the building. Then we use it for public transport. For example, it's on the train, on the bus, on a plane. And this is why we don't use in for public transport, because I think of it because public transport are more open than cars and taxis, because we can still remain standing on public transport. And finally, we use on for communication and media. For example, on the television, on the internet, and on the news. Moving on to the last preposition, we have the preposition at. Preposition at is used for the smallest place or time. As a preposition of time, we use at for the first is for specific times. For example, at 10 a.m., at 3 o'clock, and at lunchtime. The second one is we use it for holidays but without day in it. For example, at Christmas and at Easter. We use on if we use Christmas Day, but we use at if it's just Christmas. Then the last one is we use it for miscellaneous, which is at night. As a preposition of place, we use at for the first one is for address. For example, at 10 High Street and at the Red House. The next one is we use it for specific locations, for example, like at the bus stop, at the museum, etc. And we also use it for shops, for example, at the coffee shop, at the bakery, and at the butcher's. Then we use it for group activities like at the party, at the concert, and at the theater. And it's also important to remember that at is used for work, home, and places of study, like at work, at home, and at a university. We also use it for top, bottom, and start. At the top, at the bottom, at the end, and at the start. And lastly, we use it for sitting at a surface. With on, we use it for surfaces. For example, I have my laptop on the table, and I am sitting at my desk. You sit at a desk. You put your things on the desk. Because people don't sit on the desk. People sit at the desk. In other words, at the chair near the desk. Finally, to summarize everything, we use in for general things, on for quite general things, and at for specific things. We can use that as a reminder. With this presentation, like I said earlier, I hope it can help people understand these three prepositions better, because I make this presentation so that I can understand this topic more. And if other people can understand this topic more as well, then the purpose for making this video is fulfilled. Thank you for watching my presentation. If there's any question, then please do write so in the comment sections. My name is Putri Sotonasana. Thank you for watching. Wassalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.